Hi guys, John here, senior editor of the Movie Blog, and this is my quick review of the new J.J. Abrams film Star Trek, the reboot, the remake. Look, for those of you who've been Movie Blog readers for some time, I've been saying for years that Star Trek is a dead franchise, dead as a doornail. I know some people try to argue that, but facts are facts. The fan base has been dying off. They haven't been getting new fans. The movies have bombed. The TV shows have bombed. Blah 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 blah. And for whatever the reason, some people want to blame this. Some people want to blame that. Star Trek's been a dead franchise, and I've been saying for years, if you're gonna do a new Star Trek movie, you gotta reboot it, reimagine it, do something different. You gotta change the game because the old franchise is dead. Then comes along J.J. Abrams, says he's going to be reimagining Star Trek, and he did it. I've been a little bit nervous about it. I've been apprehensive about it, but I saw an advanced screening of it last night, and let me tell you, this movie is, for family viewing, the shit. This movie is freaking awesome. I love this movie, and I am once again a proud Star Trek fan. Look, first of all, on the good side, they had a very delicate rope to walk across here. You couldn't do the same old Star Trek. But at the same time, you didn't want to completely abandon the old Star Trek. And they came up with a plot device in this film, and you'll see it, that's very simple but very effective, of doing both. Of making it, this is Star Trek, the Star Trek universe we all already know, and at the same time making it completely brand new and taking off the shackles so that they'd be free to take the stories in any direction they want to go from here on out. They are no longer tied to historical canon, and yet this is the same Captain Kirk, this is the same Spock, this is the same Scotty. They came up with such a great way of doing that I was really impressed. It was very effective. If anything, they almost over-explained it a little bit in some points. And I can't explain it without giving away a spoiler, but you'll see what I mean when you see it. The characters are bang on. Carl Urban as Dr. Leonard McCoy, Bones, perfect. He had his character, but he also had his mannerisms and his nuances. Same thing with Simon Pegg as Scotty. Same thing as Sulu. Same thing as, Zachary Quinto as Mr. Spock. Not only got his character, but he also got his mannerisms and everything down perfectly. They were so perfect you felt right at home if you're an old Star Trek fan. Right at home watching these guys. But at the same time, they didn't do the same thing for Captain Kirk, and that's a good thing, and I'll tell you why. Chris Pine played the character of Captain Kirk very well. They got his character perfect. But what they didn't do is try to emulate his mannerisms and his nuances like they did with the other characters. Why? Because if they did that with Captain Kirk, Chris Pine just would have looked like he was acting like William Shatner acting like Captain Kirk. You know what I mean? Because those Kirk mannerisms are so attached to William Shatner that I think if he tried to do those mannerisms like Carl Urban did McCoy's mannerisms, it would have came across like he was just trying to imitate William Shatner, and I think that was a great decision on their part. The action and adventure in this film is wonderful. Almost too much in some places, and you can read in my review why I think that is, but really great action sequences, very exciting. What else can I say about it here that I put into my written review? It's funny. This is a funny movie. It's so funny. I am tempted in places to not just, where I say the genre of the film, instead of just saying sci-fi adventure, I feel like saying sci-fi comedy. And it's a beautiful mixture of fresh, new movie comedy, but also comedy that are winks back to the old Star Trek, that are all done so well and mixed up so nicely, you feel like you're laughing and reminiscing at the same time. It's not a perfect movie. I didn't like the villain. I love Eric Bana, but him as the Romulan known as Nero, I never bought his motivation once, and he doesn't have much screen time, which is fine, because really the screen time was being used to reintroduce us to these classic Star Trek characters, and that's great. But still, not a great villain. He's pretty forgettable. They overuse action a little bit here and there. It's almost like they were trying too hard. They over-explain a few things a little bit too much here and there. But these are all nitpicking things. Overall, Star Trek is a fun, entertaining, wild sci-fi film. Ladies and gentlemen, Star Trek is back. Live long and prosper. Overall, I give Star Trek, the new Star Trek, a 9 out of 10. I think it's the best movie of the year so far. I am very surprised, but very pleasantly surprised. For the Movie Blog, I'm John Campea.